from St. Alphonsus de Liguori, who recommends that we prepare for Holy Communion. And the question comes up, how is it that in so many souls we see so little fruit with so frequent communions, and that they constantly relapse into the same faults? In other words, somebody who goes to daily Mass, or somebody who receives Holy Communion every Sunday for their whole life. How is it possible that they would continue to fall into sin, especially to fall into the same sins time and time again, that they continually take the same sins to confession? How is that possible? Because what is it we're receiving in Holy Communion? We're receiving the fire of God's love. Fire. When you receive Holy Communion, you're receiving fire, which inflames your heart and your body. How is it possible then that you could continue to fall into mortal sin? And this is a widespread experience. But that's a good question to ask. Should not receiving Holy Communion prevent us from falling into sin? Can a man, says Solomon in the Old Testament, hide fire in his bosom and his garments not burnt? God is a consuming fire. He comes himself in Holy Communion to enkindle this divine fire. How is it then, says William of Paris, that we see so diabolical a miracle as the soul should remain cold in divine love in the midst of such flames? Well, all this comes from want of proper dispositions, and especially from want of preparation. Preparation. We should prepare for Holy Communion. St. Aloysius Gonzaga, whose feast was yesterday, prepared for 3 days before he received Holy Communion. And after receiving Holy Communion, he gave thanks for 3 days. So in between, we have the day of communion, and you see that's a whole week. He's preparing and making thanksgiving to receive Holy Communion once a week. So, to prepare, St. Alphonsus says that our souls without preparing are as green wood. What happens to green wood when you try to light a fire? It smokes, but you can't get it to light. So we need to prepare our souls that they're ready to burn with that fire. They need to be dried wood. So how do we prepare for that? Well, certainly, if you're in a state of mortal sin, you should go to confession. But on a day-to-day basis, you should prepare by making sure that you're reading the Holy Scriptures, that you're praying every morning and every evening, that you're praying a daily rosary, and that you're making an examination of conscience every night before you go to bed. Those are some basic things that you can do to prepare your heart to be set on fire. And that won't kill you. Although Saint Philip Neri, it was found after he died, it was known that his heart had expanded, and he would get so hot he would have to unbutton his cassock to let the heat escape. Well, his heart had become so inflamed and enlarged that he broke 2 ribs. It wasn't discovered till after he died. That flame of fire that the Lord wishes to give you in Holy Communion, when you receive Holy Communion, should set your heart aflame. Now, you don't have to crack 2 ribs, but it wouldn't kill you. But even so, prepare for your Holy Communion. If you're in a state of venial sin, make an act of contrition. Receive communion with a contrite heart. It forgives your sins. If you're in a state of mortal sin, go to confession and make reparation for any time in your life that you've ever received communion in a state of mortal sin. And for that, you should make the 9 First Fridays in honor of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And you should come to the Feast of the Sacred Heart next Friday night, our High Mass. And you might consider coming to the Archbishop's procession today at 3:30 downtown. Those are all things you can do to help yourself to better prepare for Holy Communion, to appreciate it more, to benefit from it more. Because it's not only you that needs to benefit from it, it's the whole world. All those out there that are cold of heart, all those out there that have lost their faith, all those out there who think they're angry at God when they should be angry at the devil who hates them, and not be angry at God who loves them. Your faith, your reception of Holy Communion is not only the remedy for your own soul, it is a remedy for the world. And do not underestimate that. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.